Hi everyone, my name is Martin Sandwell. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here at Ucommerce, and today I'm going to be talking about our value presentation. Now, our value presentation is basically the why of Ucommerce. So, why are we here? There's a ton of commerce platforms out there, and they each have their own flavor or their own take on commerce. And our take is basically the content and commerce connected. So we strongly believe that you need to build up a content, you need to build up your brand. So you can't just basically put your products online and then think everything is good. That might have worked 10 years ago, but today customers expect more. So we believe that you need to leverage a content management system and all the capabilities within a content management system in a commerce context. So to put it plainly, if a customer comes to us and we get the sense that all they really want is to get their products online, then there are many good platforms, and Ucommerce might not even be the best fit for that. But as soon as we realize that the customer has ambitions for their content as well, they want to tell that story around their product. They understand that their website should be the hub of all product and brand related information for the customers, so the customers get that brand experience once they get onto the website. Then that is a typical customer for Ucommerce, because that is what we can do. Because when we leverage the content management system in a commerce context, then you have all those capabilities to do what you want to do. So let's get started. So a little bit of facts around Ucommerce first. So we were founded back in 2009. We're a Danish company, and now we have offices and representation all across the world in all the major time zones, which we're really happy about. The reason why I'm telling you this is because it's important to understand that Ucommerce is not a garage product anymore. We've been around for almost 10 years. We've seen a lot of commerce scenarios. We stand behind, or we power more than 3,000 active installations out there. So it is really a case of the platform being battle hardened to some extent. We've seen and lifted a bunch of commerce scenarios, and that's kind of proven to us that the platform really has a justification in the marketplace. We really do believe that we are the market leading platform for content and commerce. And one of the reasons we believe that is we have integrations to the most dominant .NET based content management systems out there. Now, we started off in Umbraco in 2009, and then we built an integration to Sitecore, and then followed Kentico and Sitefinity. And today we represent 4 of these dominant .NET based CMSs that no other commerce platform does. So that's why we believe that we can claim that we are the leading content and commerce platform out there. So if you believe that you want to work with Ucommerce, then you have an option to work with a number of different CMSs, and you can migrate to and from CMSs, but you still need just to know the one commerce platform that sits behind it, because it is the same platform, it is the same code base that is powering each of these. And we're trying in each case to leverage that specific flavor of the CMS that makes it special, and trying to give that a commerce context. So if you have personalization in your CMS, then of course Ucommerce will leverage that personalization capabilities in order to do that in a commerce context, and so on and so forth. So what do we actually mean when we're talking about content and commerce connected? So to us, it's very much about avoiding those silos that we've seen over and over again. So there's so many sites where you have your brand sites, and then you have your shop site, because there wasn't any integration. And when you started building in the first place, you built your brand site up, and then at some point someone came along and said, you know what, shouldn't we start selling stuff online? And that's a great idea, but if your content management system doesn't have that capability, then you need to use another piece of software to actually do that. And then you get 2 different systems running, and you're missing all that connectivity and all that added value of presenting it one place. So from our perspective, of course, it was important to get rid of that whole 2-site syndrome, but it's also a matter of not risking another software investment. So if your customer already have one of the CMSs that we represent, they don't have to throw away everything in order to build commerce on these websites. They can maintain their existing infrastructure, they maintain their existing capabilities, they don't have to learn anything new, they don't have to exchange anything and run that risk, but they can actually just build on top of the infrastructure that they have already. And thereby they're mitigating a lot of the risks that are in a commerce project. So what we want to achieve at the end of the day is that the marketing team, the e-commerce team actually can get together and start working with that content and commerce, so that whenever the marketing team produces some kind of material, then that can be put into work on the web store, so that we constantly leverage all the capabilities that are in the company. What we're trying to do at the end of the day is getting that unified content and commerce experience, so that the customers are experiencing one brand experience. It's not a question of jumping from site to site, try to emulate each other as much as possible. No, it's one brand experience. So they have to trust that when they get to the brand website, that is the hub of all the information out there. I mean, as a brand owner, you can go to Amazon, you can go to Google Shopping, and they can work fine as outlets for you. But you need to have a place that is your own. You need to have that brand hub, and that should be your website. And that's why you need content management systems to leverage your product story and your brand story. So, what do we mean when we say we're framework first? So framework first is a very key principle for Ucommerce. The reason it's key is because we know commerce. We've been around, as I said, for almost 10 years. So we know that not two commerce projects are the same. We actually have a saying, it's not a question if you're going to extend your commerce platform, it's when and how much. And that's why we built a commerce platform which is not a shop in a box. There's a lot of good shop in a boxes out there, and they provide a ton of functionality, but if you want to tweak them a little bit, trying to exchange them or extend them in any way, then you often run into some kind of restraints and constraints that makes it difficult to work with. It's the opposite with Ucommerce. So Ucommerce actually begs to be extended because it is very flexible, it's easy to customize, and that is what we're trying to build. We know that at some point we can only offer so much functionality out of the box, but we need some kind of layer or some sort of API so that you can extend the platform to suit your specific customer's needs. And that is why the DNA of Ucommerce is framework first. So we might offer a lot of stuff out of the box, but you can always extend it. So just giving you a quick platform overview here. So Ucommerce has a lot of out-of-the-box stuff, but it is, as I said, fully customizable. We have, of course, a catalog foundation. That is the hub of your product. This is where your products live and breathe, but it's also where all the magic happens, so to speak. So Ucommerce is a multi-platform from the get-go. So when we're saying that, it's because Ucommerce can operate with multi-stores, which actually is multi-channel. So you can work with different brands or different markets or different outlets. So still working with either the same product database or different product databases. It's also a question of you can work with multiple languages, multiple currencies, multiple shipments, multiple price points for each product, we call it differentiated pricing. There's also tiered pricing in the platform. So there's a lot of stuff in here in the catalog foundation, which is where you set the scene for your product. This is where you set up your definitions. What is a product? What does a product constitute of? And that is really the key of Ucommerce, that there are no limitations set to what is a product. We don't have any assumptions of what a product is. So it can be a physical product, it could be a download, it can be any kind of thing. So that all happens in the catalog foundation. So moving on to the marketing foundation, which is basically where you set up all your campaigns, all your merchandising, all those kind of things. But instead, as you see in many platforms where you have, okay, I can do a 10% discount, or I can do a free freight, or I have some set campaigns or functionalities that I can use. That's not the case in Ucommerce. Again, we believe that every commerce platform or every commerce project needs that little bit of different flavor. So our marketing foundation is built up like a matrix model, so you can combine different targets in order to achieve especially that type of campaign that you're looking for. Of course, you have all kinds of discounts, voucher systems, gift cards, free flight. All of these things are also, that just comes out of the box, no questions asked. But you can also add on top of that. You can combine discounts. You can work together with them. You can prioritize them. You can work with different discounts in different channels. So there's a whole world of possibilities out there for your digital merchants to actually start working with these advanced marketing tools. Moving on to the search foundation. So search is of course a key capability in commerce. And in Ucommerce you have search out of the box, keyword search, you have facet search, you can put facets on each of your variants or properties, what have you. So all of that just works out of the box. But you also have the capabilities so that if our search requirement doesn't just exactly match what you're looking for, well, you can exchange our search engine and put in a search engine of your own flavor. Again, that's kind of the customizability of Ucommerce that we want to. Search is a science, so we can't just decide what kind of search is optimal for you, but we can give you the opportunity to implement your search engine of choice. Also, when we come down to transaction foundation, of course, we need to make people actually buy the products that they're looking for, and this will give you full control of the checkout flow. We don't have any preconceptions around what a checkout flow could be. It could be a one-page checkout flow, it's a 20-page checkout flow. That's all up to you. We just try to make sure that we can do whatever you want it. So it could be a multiple shipment offerings, multiple payment offerings, all these kind of things. And we also offer more than 25 payment providers out of the box where we've already done the integration, so that you don't have to do all of that nitty-gritty work over and over again. But should you run into a situation where there's a payment provider of choice for your customer, then we have very extensive documentation to showcase how can you implement that. We also have an order management foundation. So that is basically where we handle our orders. So if you have an order management system or your customer has one already, an ERP, etc., then by all means use whatever works already. But we also have a system that can be put in place either as an interim order management, so that your customer service can actually see that. They can amend orders, they can change orders. There's a full audit trail in there. They can also place orders on behalf of customers. So they have the opportunity to create a full order from scratch and complete that order. So there is some tools and capabilities in here that they can work with, and then they can send it off to ERP when the order is final and complete and done with. Last but not least, we also have security foundation, which is basically our role and responsibilities. Because we are a multi-channel platform, then you also need to manage, who has access to which parts of the platform. You can do that through our security foundation, which is very granular. I can sit down on each level of our foundation and decide which kind of person has access to these parts of the platform. If we look at our customers for a second, so customers, of course, at the end of the day, this is our most important asset, and I'm pretty sure that any kind of commerce platform can put up a slide like this with a bunch of important or global brands. So to me, the brands are not too important, but what is important is how they use the platform. Because as I stated before, Ucommerce is not a shop-in-a-box platform. It's built for customization. So when you look at these customers, I can see someone like Heinz Tomato Ketchup. They're not using our platform in a common way. They actually took our platform and built an auction module out of the platform. So they auction away overstock productions to their customers. So in fact, the product doesn't have a price when it's put on sale, but it will get a price in the checkout flow, which is an interesting commerce element. Also, someone like Big, they're using the platform to do subscriptions. So you can subscribe to your shavers, etc., and you can set up subscriptions, per week, per month, etc. How often do I want to have this stuff delivered? And we do believe that subscriptions is some of the things that's going to be happening very much, not just in a B2C context, but also in a B2B context, where subscriptions, automatic delivery of stuff, that's going to be a very big thing in the future. Someone interesting case is always someone like Abu Dhabi Airport. So their whole duty-free section is running on Ucommerce software. And the interesting part about a duty-free element is that you have to envision that you're walking down through the airport, through the duty-free sections, and you have all these different brands. You have to consolidate all of these different brands with all of the different product management systems or ERP systems. So you got to get a price, you got to get pictures, you got to get a stock level from all of them and consolidate them into one website. And once this has been consolidated into one website, the customer then comes in and buys from different vendors, and then you have to route these orders out into these specific vendors again, and then consolidate that into one specific order that the customer can pick up at the airport. So from a commerce perspective, it's quite an interesting scenario. Now, fortunately, we have a module called the Uconnector, which is a middleware that sits in between Ucommerce and any kind of third-party system and can shoot data back and forth from the platform and into ERPs or PIMs or what have you. And Abu Dhabi is using that because they have so many vendors that they needed one system to start looking back and forth and making sure that that orders are routing accordingly. So it's a very interesting case. So last slide. This is just describing a little bit about the Ucommerce journey. We would like to think that we got your back in any way. Ucommerce is a very open, very transparent company. We actually do something stupid as put our prices up on our website. You can actually download our software and just install it to test it out. We also have open and accessible demo sites so that you can actually try it out and see if the integration works and what the feel of the platform is. And of course, we also provide extensive documentation and extensive support as well. We have our famous Ucommerce Buddy concept, which is basically one of our developers from our core team at Ucommerce HQ that gets assigned to your project at the beginning, and then he or she will actually follow you through the actual project together with you. They're not going to do any specific work on the project, but you will be able to consult them all the way through the project so that you have one person that knows everything about your project, and you don't have to start over and over again every time you reach out to us. So we like to think that we will always be there for you, because our success is, at the end of the day, our customers' success. And a great platform is more than just the software. It is very much the people behind. So if there's any way we can help you, we hope that you will let us do that, and we can jointly put together a lot of big projects. So this was the Ucommerce value presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot to learn from here, and there's a lot to be talking about as well. But Ucommerce is a great platform, and we do believe in content and commerce, and I hope you do too. So thank you very much for your time, and I wish you a pleasant day.